Hello and welcome. My name is Jill Maurer, and today I am talking about my experience with Yoga with Adrienne's 30 Days of Yoga. Those of you who know me know that I started creating YouTube videos as a way to give back to the YouTube community, which had given me so much. And one person who has contributed a great deal to the YouTube community and to me personally is Yoga with Adrienne. And she has a channel where she does yoga, and she has different playlists, and her 30 Days of Yoga is one of those playlists. This is one of her older challenges, and it's the one I decided to start with first. She has several other 30-day challenges that you can do as well, and after completing this 30-day challenge, I have moved on to some others. So what I'm going to let you know in this video is why I like at-home yoga, why I like Yoga with Adrienne in particular, what you need to get started, and what my results were after 30 days. The reason that I like at-home yoga in general is that there really aren't any excuses. There's no travel time, you can wear whatever you want. Yoga is supposed to be done with your own breath, so you can do it with your own breath, and you can kind of fumble around if you need to when you're at home. Like when you're in a class, if they've moved on and you didn't quite get what was happening, you can pause the video and arrange what you need to arrange and make sure that you try the pose or try to do whatever. Also, if you just are exhausted and need a little break, you can do that, stop and breathe, and start again. So there are all kinds of reasons to like doing yoga at home. Why I like Yoga with Adrienne in particular, and I would recommend that when you do yoga at home on YouTube that you try to find somebody that you really connect with, someone that you really like. I really like Yoga with Adrienne, and so do millions of other people. And the reason is that she's not a Barbie doll. She is very calm, she's very loving, she's very accepting. She helps you start with where you are. So it's perfectly fine to be wherever you are, and she gives you options of what you may look like or what you may be feeling, and it could be anywhere from beginner to advanced. She's very good at doing that. She also doesn't dress up really flashy. She doesn't have like perfect hair and makeup. She is, of course, beautiful and in great shape, but she is very, very welcoming and calm and relaxing about all of that. The other thing that Yoga with Adrienne does is really taught me anyway that this idea of no pain, no gain isn't really true. You can gently get yourself into positions and try new things without pushing, just doing it every day. Coming to the mat every single day is what is important. And you'll just discover that you're doing the same pose and suddenly something happens. Your heels hit the floor or you're able to bend further. It's just a gentle process, but it does create results. What do you need to get started? Well, you need a computer or some way to play the video. I just use a little laptop that I kind of move around, but if you have it running on your smart TV or whatever, that will work. So you just need a computer, a way to watch it, and just enough space to be able to do the yoga. You need comfortable clothing. No one's watching you, so it doesn't have to be fancy. I would advise the clothing not be too baggy, because if it is, it'll get in your way. You end up, putting your hands on the floor and your bum in the air, and so if you're wearing a loose baggy shirt, it'll kind of fall, or sometimes it'll fall in your face like this, and you can't breathe all that well. So a tank top, pajamas, it can be just about anything as long as it's comfortable and not too baggy. Beyond that, Adrienne will tell you that you need nothing, which is true, but there are some things that will make it easier. One is a yoga mat. Now, if you're not sure that you are going to commit to this yoga idea, or you're not sure that you really like it, you can get by with a towel or something down on the floor until you decide that you want to do it. But if you do decide that you want to progress, a yoga mat makes yoga easier because you don't slip and slide. So a good yoga mat is a good thing. And then there are props that will be helpful. You can have a yoga blanket, but you can just use a towel or any blanket. And what that's for is sometimes when you're sitting, you can sit up on the blanket or pad something in a certain posture, and it makes it just easier to do. I would not recommend going out and buying a yoga specific blanket. A towel or a normal blanket will work just fine. The next thing that is nice, you don't have to have it, especially for the 30 days, but it can be helpful, is a yoga block or some sort of support. This is what I mean by a yoga block. It's very light. I'm not sure what it's made of, but it's very light and it helps bring the earth to you. So for example, if you're doing a forward fold, if you're bending forward and your hands won't hit the ground, you can use this to bring the earth up to you so that you can touch this. Now, if you don't have a yoga block, you can use anything that will bring the earth to you. It could be a chair if you need it to be real high, a stool, or it can just be a book or books. That will work as well. It also can be helpful to have a yoga strap or belt, but any kind of belt will work. And I think if I remember correctly, in the 30 days, I only used this once or twice. So you don't necessarily have to use this at all. What it does is it allows you, if you can't bring your leg up and grab your foot, it allows you to throw this over your foot so that you can kind of pull on your foot wherever your foot happens to be at the moment. Not required, but helpful. Now, about my results. Where I started when I started this 30-day process was in a not great place. I was not in a great place. I had not been exercising. My body was getting very, very stiff and rigid. My right arm, I couldn't move it much past about here, and I couldn't move it much here. There was something going on with my right shoulder. I was uncomfortable just sitting. I mean, just resting, I was uncomfortable. There was no resting pose in yoga that was comfortable for me at all on the first day. Even just sitting still, cross-legged, was not comfortable. My muscles were tight, I couldn't relax. Every resting posture when I started was not resting for me. I was really in a lot of pain. I was also very weak. In any kind of pose that required strength, I was shaking and trembling. I was just not in good shape, and all of that is okay, and was even anticipated by Adrienne during this process. So she said, if you're shaking, that's normal. This is what it is. You'll get over it. And she was right. So I started in a pretty bad place. After the 30 days, I had really great results. The resting positions were resting for me. Just during my normal days, I didn't have the leg pain and lower back pain that I had been experiencing, but resting positions in yoga were actually a little break for me. They did feel resting and relaxing. The intense pain in my shoulder went away, and I got almost all of the mobility back in my shoulder over that 30 days. And that has continued as I have been progressing, that my shoulder has almost as much mobility now as this shoulder, and just very, very close. It's been wonderful for me. I have increased flexibility all over my body, even my feet. She did a little thing for your feet to stretch your feet. I couldn't believe how tight and tense my feet were. So my whole body is more supple. It's a little more nimble. I am not by any stretch as flexible as I was in my 20s, but I did notice a lot of progress in just 30 days. So in flexibility too, I even within the 30 days was able to get my heels all the way down in downward dog. I'm just telling you this to let you know that I had progress and that you will have progress. If you don't have your heels down in downward dog within the 30 days, doesn't mean a thing. You know, you will eventually, you won't, it doesn't matter. You just start where you are. I noticed a great deal of increase in my strength and balance as well. So before, just in a plank or even a half plank where I would shake, now I'm perfectly comfortable doing the plank for whatever length she does it. I mean, I'm sure there are people who can do a plank a lot longer than I can, but I did notice a great increase in my strength, my core strength, and my balance. The other thing I noticed is that I really enjoyed coming to the mat. You know, in the beginning, I didn't want to go there. I just thought, I don't want to be here, but I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to get it over with, was sort of the attitude that I had. And she talks about having a mantra and getting to the mat every day and having a mantra that inspires you. And so I will share my very inspirational mantra that got me to the mat every day, and it was, get her done. That's what it was for me. Just get her done. And that didn't mean that I was rushing through the yoga once I got there. But before I started, the hardest part is just getting to the mat. Before I started, I would think, I got to get her done. And I would just get my stuff out and get her done. So I hope you enjoyed this review of Yoga with Adriene. I really love Adriene and her whole series and everything that she does. And I would encourage you to try it if you are in need of more strength, more flexibility, and more range of motion. Or if you're just looking for an activity and exercise that you can do at home every day or when you want to do it without a lot of fuss. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'd love to know whether you have ever tried Yoga with Adriene and what your experience is below, or maybe if there's a yoga instructor here on YouTube that you really enjoy, you can let us know in the comments below. Please subscribe. I would love to see you again. Bye for now.